Hello, my name is John Sims with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering Team. This video will be covering the configuration of Avaya IP Office Voicemail Pro using Unified Messaging Service Web Access. First, a few notables about Unified Messaging Service Web Access. The web interface will allow voicemail access via standard web browsers such as Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox, giving you the ability as a user to make use of your PC to retrieve, listen, and manage your voicemails. UMS Web Access requires a Voicemail Pro installation on the same server that has been pre-prepped with Internet Information Server, otherwise known as IIS, and licensing is of course required to make use of UMS, and you see the licensing packages there either in the form of Power User, Teleworker, or Office Worker. The preferred browser clients are either Internet Explorer 9 or Firefox 5, but there is a level of support still given to the older browsers such as Internet Explorer 8, Firefox 3, which will give you web voicemail only, or Opera 10, again web voicemail only. We'll start our configuration together on the Voicemail Pro server. I'll head into Administrative Tools, and I see early indication that IIS is prepped. I see the IIS Manager applet. Then if let me drag that corner down, I click into the Services applet, and if I scroll down, I'll also see indication that IIS is running as I see the Worldwide Publishing Service. So I've clicked into the IIS Manager applet, and you see I've headed to Web Extensions, and I'm going to enable the newer version of the ASP.NET. So I'll allow that. And an important thing here is to allow all unknown CGI extensions, and the purpose of that is to enable PHP on this site. The web access for UMS is mainly PHP driven, so we have to enable that in the web extensions, and I don't think that's always mentioned in the documentation. So after we've made those changes, we will then restart the IIS server instance. One step back note is if you didn't have ASP.NET to configure in the web extensions, you can head into Windows Components of Add Remove Programs into the application server, IIS, and then you can add ASP.NET to your installation, as you see me looking at the control applets there, so you can add that as needed. With the IIS prerequisites out of the way, we're now going to start a Voicemail Pro installation. Now, I'm not going to walk you through the entire Voicemail Pro installation, but I want to get to an important option that I want you to be aware of for UMS Web Access. So as we go into a full install, I'll select Custom, and then in the drop down list as we scroll down, you'll see I'll select Web Voicemail, and if we read the description on the right, you'll see that it's going to add the web voicemail and deliver all the PHP components necessary for this feature. So after the Voicemail Pro installation, let's look one last time at IIS Manager, and you'll note some changes that have taken place. Under the default app pool, you'll now see Voicemail Pro applications that are there and running. They've been added to IIS, and under the default website, you'll see Voicemail Pro base pages, including a voicemail accounts, which is obviously now synced with the IP Office switch and Voicemail Pro to pull in Voicemail Pro accounts, including my JSIMS test account that you see me clicking in there. So all of this is telling us that we've had a successful install and synchronization with Voicemail Pro. Now we're finally to the part of the IP Office configuration. So as you see, I've pulled the configuration. I'm heading to User, My User. Now what's important for this web access is the name, not the full name, but the name. So note that name for your web access means, and of course that has to be filled in to create a user account to begin with. Under the Voicemail tab, we're simply going to check the UMS Web Services checkbox. We're not going to do anything with voicemail to email settings, just the UMS Web Services checkbox. From here I'm going to head to Licensing. I'm going to scroll down and select the UMS Web Services license. Make sure we have enough nodes licensed or instances licensed, and we do. And then as you see, if I double click in that license, you'll see that I have myself assigned to be provisioned for that license. The final step is to save up our configuration, which is a mergeable event, and our IP office configuration is complete. Accessing Voicemail Pro web voicemail is very simple. You simply point your browser to the IP address or fully qualified domain name of the Voicemail Pro server /voicemail. The first time into the landing page, and you might be asked to install this Microsoft Web Player shim. So you'll see that I'm installing that. I'll leave this run real time. You'll see it's a very quick install. There, it's finished. Now it's time to log in again with your name, voicemail account name, and your voicemail account password. And I'll log into the system. So again, I'm using IE8 for this. You have an option also use Opera or Firefox, any of the latest browsers that are Java supported. It's now going to redirect us to a PHP driven web page, and here we are in. You'll see I've left myself a test message from SimsTech extension 8007. It's a lengthy message of 4 seconds. So I'll click into that message, and up will come the web player applet, web control applet. So you'll see it gives a bit more information. If I hover over these control buttons, if I had multiple messages, I could scroll to next or last message. Here we have an option here to forward the message, delete the message, save the message, mark as unread again, or if you see here, I can play the message right now. I can stream this through my PC speakers by just playing the message through that Wave Media Player applet, or I have the option on the drop down to play back to my extension. So I'll tell my extension to ring back on my extension. I could pick up that extension, and then I have my control player buttons still to fast forward, skip through messages, stop, and play. So again, you have quite a bit of control through this web player applet. I'll now mark this message as unread to make it fresh again in my web access mailbox. And now it's time to forward on a message, so I'll click the forward button. I can forward to an extension or a hunt group. I'll choose extension. There is a find name box at the bottom of the applet, but I'll go ahead and select the extension for Larry Walker and forward on this message to him through the web control. If I go into change settings, I can change my Voicemail Pro password. I can then set for the number of messages per page and even hide the to column. So I'm not going to make any changes here. I'll close that down. Now it's time to just log out of the web page, and you'll see I'll be redirected back to the initial landing page, and that concludes the demo. Thank you for your time today. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details or related information, please visit support.avaya.com. Thank you for choosing Avaya.